Tesla is not being pushed into a corner by regulation. What's really happening is much more important than that. Right now, the world is starting to organize its rules, its expectations, and even its future industries around Tesla. And once you see it that way, the recent headlines look very different. Hi, this is Ken. In today's video, I want to help you look past the fear-driven headlines, because if you're a long-term Tesla investor, this moment isn't about short-term risk. It's about understanding why the market is still confident, why Tesla stock is near record levels, and what this regulatory noise actually signals about Tesla's next phase. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer framework for how to think about Tesla as a long-term investment, not just a volatile tech stock. Let's quickly ground ourselves in the facts. In California, regulators and an administrative law judge raised concerns about Tesla's use of the terms autopilot and full self-driving. Some media outlets immediately escalated this into dramatic narratives. You probably saw headlines suggesting sales bans, safety failures, or existential threats to Tesla's autonomy strategy. At the same time, Tesla stock remained near all-time highs. Even more interesting, Robotaxi-related stocks in other countries, including China, moved higher around the same period. So we have regulation concerns on one side and strong market confidence on the other. That contrast is the starting point for today's analysis. Here's the first critical clarification. This regulatory issue is not a rejection of Tesla's technology. It is not a ruling that says FSD is unsafe. The issue is about language, specifically whether the terms autopilot and full self-driving could potentially mislead consumers. And just as important, there is no immediate sales ban. Tesla is being given time to adjust how it communicates. That may sound subtle, but from an investor perspective, it changes everything. This is a compliance and messaging discussion, not a technological shutdown. Now let's connect that to the stock price. If Tesla were still seen primarily as an EV manufacturer, this news would have triggered a sharp sell-off. But that didn't happen. The reason is simple. The market no longer values Tesla mainly on quarterly delivery numbers. What investors are pricing in now is the long-term scalability of autonomy, software, AI, and robotaxi economics. In other words, Tesla is increasingly viewed as future infrastructure, not just a car company. From that perspective, regulation is not surprising. Infrastructure always attracts regulation once it becomes real. And that brings us to an important shift in mindset. Investors are no longer asking, is FSD perfect today? They are asking, can FSD eventually scale into a massive recurring cash flow engine? That's a very different question. If robotaxis become viable at scale, Tesla stops being a company that sells products once. It becomes a platform that generates ongoing revenue through mobility services. Seen through that lens, requests to clarify language are not existential risks. They are friction points on the path to commercialization. And this is where things get even more interesting. Here's the surprising part that didn't get much attention. Tesla-related robotaxi news didn't just move US markets. It coincided with rising stock prices in Chinese robotaxi companies like WeRide and Pony.ai. That tells us something important. Tesla is no longer just competing within the industry. Tesla is setting the benchmark for the entire autonomous mobility sector. When Tesla makes progress, the whole space gets revalued globally. Legacy automakers never triggered that kind of reaction. That's a sign of influence, not fragility. There's a historical pattern worth remembering here. Regulation doesn't show up when technology is irrelevant. It shows up when technology becomes impossible to ignore. We saw this with the internet, with smartphones, with ride-hailing platforms, First comes innovation, then confusion, then regulation, and finally, large-scale adoption. Tesla appears to be entering that regulatory middle phase, not because autonomy failed, but because it's getting close enough to reality that rules now matter. That's not a bearish signal for long-term investors. Short-term volatility will continue. There will be days when regulation headlines push the stock down, but the long-term valuation question remains unchanged. Can Tesla turn autonomy and AI into scalable, high-margin, recurring revenue? The market increasingly believes the answer is yes. That's why Tesla behaves differently from traditional automakers. The real divide right now is not between bulls and bears. It's between investors who see Tesla as a car company and those who see it as future infrastructure. That single perspective will shape investment decisions over the next decade. If this analysis helped you see the bigger picture, take a moment to like the video. I share Tesla-focused insights like this every day, always from a long-term perspective. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you here as we keep thinking beyond the headlines. Thanks for watching today, and as always, enjoy life with Tesla and keep your eyes on the future. Before we wrap up, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I drive a Tesla Model Y, and at home, I've installed a Tesla Powerwall, so I actually charge my car with solar energy. I truly believe Tesla is shaping the future, and that's why I share the latest news and insights here on this channel. I'm from Japan, but I want to connect with Tesla fans all around the world. That's why I also create an English version of my videos. YouTube now lets you switch the audio into your own language, so you can enjoy it in whatever language you prefer. Most of all, I'd love to connect with Tesla fans everywhere so we can support Tesla together. I also share updates on X, so feel free to follow me there and let's connect. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.